Okay, we are live. Do you want to start, Atul?
All right, let's start then. Is it live streaming now, Manali? All
yes.
Good?
Yes.
Great. Good morning, all. So welcome to the third Sci-ROI's third recruitment drives information session. I'm Atul Gopal, a postdoc at the National Institutes of Health and a member of the Sci-ROI's leadership team. Today, me and Manali would be giving some information about the third recruitment drive and answer any of the questions that the members have about this recruitment drive. So as you all know, Sci-ROI is a US-based volunteer-driven organization that helps the Indian postdocs all over the world to basically transition back to India to find opportunities in science and STEM-related fields and transition back to India and help in reintegrating into the scientific ecosystem in India. So we have been doing this, it was started in 2015 and we had multiple annual events, which were more in the style of a young investigator style meetings. And during those meetings, some of the problems that our Sci-ROI members and the meeting attendees raised was that the application processes for many of the recruiting institutes in India is very slow, and it's a very opaque process, which creates a lot of frustration for the participants. So we at Sci-ROI thought that what could we do to basically alleviate this problem and to make the life easier for our members. So this recruitment drive is something that came out of that particular thought. So in 2019, we did an in-person interview so that the recruiters who came for the 2019 Chicago meeting, we had some in-person interviews and there was some job offers given. In 2020, as you all know, when the pandemic hit, we had to basically shift to a virtual format, and we did our annual meeting also in the virtual format. So we had a little bit of a problem. How do we basically do this in-person interview that we started in 2019 in this virtual format as well? So we started thinking about it, and as an experiment in 2020, we tried to do the recruitment drive in the virtual format, and it was a huge success. So that was one of the major reasons we started the recruitment drive. So one of the things that we will give you a little bit of information what this drive is all about and what are some of the salient features of it. So Sci-ROI's recruitment drive is to bring together the Indian STEM diaspora abroad who is getting trained in the various disciplines of science right now, and to bring them together with the Indian recruiters from various public, private, and industry research organizations in India. There's a platform that brings them together, and they can have some sort of an informal interaction, and then they can take it forward into a job opportunity later. So one of the major things that you have to understand is that the Sci-ROI's recruitment drive is not a replacement for the institute-specific recruitment processes. It is just an added step before the recruitment. So it is an additional step that is going to happen. And one of the other things also that the recruiters are very careful, recruiters are very particular about is that the participants who are applying for this recruitment process has to be very serious about returning back to India. If they are just putting out their feelers just to see how the field is and what the situation is, I would request them not to apply through the Sci-ROI's platform. The recruiters here are very serious, and we are also very serious about people wanting to help people who really want to go back. And that is exactly what we are trying to do here. So only people who are really serious about this and who have a transition probably in a year's time, those people should apply for our drive. Because it is negatively impacting us as well. If the recruiters are basically seeing your profile, they are giving you an option, and they are giving you they're extending a job offer and you are not willing to take it because you are not serious about it, that negatively impacts us as well and the rest of the community. So I would really request all of you to think about your situation and make sure that you're really serious about this. And there are different types of institutes attending our recruitment drive. Some of them are public institutes like the IITs, IISERs, etc. from India. They have their own very rigorous, very immutable process of selection for their faculty candidates. So Sci-ROI, they use the Sci-ROI platform as a pre-screening process. So it is an additional step before their recruitment process. One of the benefits for having this, going through this process, is that before you actually apply, you get to interact with the members of the faculty search committee and you can put a face to your application. So they are already interested in your profile. That is why they are choosing you to do the through the Sci-ROI pre-screening process. So you will have a bunch of people in this university who was basically looking out for you and and who you can directly interact with about your application. So for the public institutes, it's really an added advantage. For the private institutes, many of the private institutes, they use Sci-ROI's recruitment drive as the first interview of their formal process. And you might have to go through multiple other rounds and multiple other interviews as well. But private institutes use this as a first step of the formal process. So we'll give you some of the statistics of how successful we were. So the first time when we conducted the virtual recruitment drive in 2020, we had around 130 applications and 12 institutes who joined us for this particular round. And we had 15 job offers. Out of the 130 participants, 15 of them got jobs. And there are still some of them, because some of the private public universities are still in the talk, so that number can still go high. In the second time, when we did it in July 2021, we had 122 participants and 10 institutes. And in that round, there were 12 job offers given, and the numbers can still go high. So who can attend this meeting? Who can attend to this recruitment drive? As you all know, the mission of Sci-ROI is to help people who are outside India. So we are looking out for individuals who are currently outside India and actively seeking employment opportunities in India. So I would also like to add people who are really serious about transitioning in the next 1 year. They should be the ones who are applying through this platform. And now, because of the pandemic, and a lot of people have had hardships and lost and had to return back to India due to many reasons, we are kind of opening up the recruitment drive to those people as well. They have returned back to India on or after 1st March 2020. They did their PhDs or postdocs abroad and do not have an independent position in India currently. They are also allowed to participate through our recruitment drive. You have to register for the Sci-ROI's recruitment drive, and a small fee of $20 is applicable during the registration. Since we have many universities and many different job postings on that, you actually have to go through each individual one of them and see if you are eligible for each job posting there. So it's your responsibility to make sure that you are eligible for each of the jobs that you are applying for. So let me also give you a brief outline about the recruitment, the processes behind the recruitment drive. So the recruiters post their positions, open positions with us. So that is already done. It's already available in our website right now. We have close to 14 recruiters right now. And the candidates, that is you, would apply through our portal for any of these 14 positions, any of these positions that are available. And once the registration ends, once the application process ends, then Sci-ROI in the backend compiles all the applications and then send them to the recruiters. And the recruiters shortlist these candidates through based on the material that we have given, that they would basically shortlist a set of candidates and let us know who they are. They also give us a set of slots for the interviews. When we will let the shortlisted candidates know that they have selected, and they are requested to select an interview, a slot in that interview using a calendar kind of an app. And then during our one-on-one meetings, we have the one-on-one interviews, or sometimes interactions with the recruiters using Sci-ROI Zoom platform. So that is the overall process. And I'll just also give you the timeline, some of the dates that you have to remember for this particular drive. So the registration opened in October 25th. So it's already on. So November 8th would be the last day where you will get the final list of recruiters, because we are still talking to some of the recruiters, and probably the number of recruiters that can still increase, but November 8th would be the last day. November 10th would be the last day where you can register. Registration is at this point is just like, you paying the fee and just showing that your interest in participating. So that closes on November 10th. And November 13th is the last date for finishing all your applications. So even if after you register, you get 3 extra days to basically finish your application. And it's a hard deadline. We would not move that deadline at all, because we need some back-end processing time and the time for recruiters to select. And from between December 1 to 3, we will be letting the shortlisted candidates will be intimated about their selection, and they would be asked to schedule the interviews based on their convenience. And the final interviews will happen between December 6 to 12. This is so. Please remember the deadlines, which is the December. Manali, can you go back a little? The hard deadline is November 13th. That is the last day where you can actually apply. And November 10th is the last date for registration. So you have to register before November 10th and finish all your application material by November 13th. Now Manali will take over and give you a brief idea of who are all participating as recruiters in this drive.
Thank you so much, Atul. So just to reiterate on what Atul mentioned, each institute has their own way of doing, recruitment. So it took a lot of effort from our end also to kind of, consolidate them to a position where they all can come to our recruitment drive. So there are a few changes here and there to the usual, the usual timeline and the process that Atul has mentioned till now. So I'll just go through the participating recruiters this time and just mention those very briefly. So these are recorded and you can look back into this video later on while you're applying as well. So I'll start with the public institutes. IIT Gandhinagar is again coming this year. They have been participating since 2020. And you will actually hear from one of the candidates who got selected to IIT Gandhinagar today after I'm done. They have been actively doing this. This is the 3rd time they're coming. Again, this year, they are looking for applications in biological engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical, and then mathematics and physics. And then again, as Atul mentioned, what will happen is you will if you get shortlisted, then you will have an interaction with them through our portal, but then you will have to, you get a direct access to their portal, to their recruitment portal, and they know that you are coming through Sci-ROI, so that, that process gets a bit streamlined. After that, we have IIT Madras joining us for the first time, but it's only the Department of Biotechnology. And this is a special mission mode recruitment. So this is only for reserved categories, but they do have a lot of positions for assistant professor positions available in different areas of biotechnology. And the same thing applies here as well. You eventually have to apply once shortlisted through their main portal, but You get this face-to-face interaction with the faculty and dean of biotechnology once if you're shortlisted, and then they can tell you, what are the main criteria that you should look for while you're applying through their portal. Right. Next, we have a new IIT joining us this year, IIT Jodhpur, and their AID school, which is Artificial Intelligence and Data Science Engineering School. They are joining us. And again, positions are open for all levels, professor, associate professor, assistant professor, and then working in the field of AI. The same thing applies here. They will be shortlisting candidates and will have interactions with them, but then you will have direct access to their own recruitment portal after that. The next public institute is TIFR, and their Department of Chemical Sciences is joining. And they have assistant faculty positions in in different areas of chemistry. You can see some of them listed here. The shortlisted candidates will get direct interaction access with the TIFR DCS faculty. And then they will have this interaction, and then they will notify you how to go forward through their recruitment process. After this, we have IISER-Berhampur, where they have positions for all their departments, biological, chemical, mathematical, and physical. And you can, again, the same thing, you will get shortlisted. If you do, then you will have an interaction with the Dean of Faculty Affairs, and then you can directly apply to their portal. After this, I'll move to the private universities. So we have Ashoka. Again, Ashoka has been coming since 2020, and we will also be hearing from one of the candidates who got selected through our drive in Ashoka. And they have positions, faculty positions open in biology, chemistry, physics, and computer science. And they do have like interviews. The first round of interviews happen through our portal. If you are selected, and then they will follow it up with a couple more rounds, which Dileep will be mentioning a bit more about. The next private institute, it's BITS-Pilani. They have also been recruiting since 2020, and this time they have positions available in all the sciences, so biology, chemistry, maths, and engineering. And they do have a lot of different campuses. So these positions are available all across the different campuses as well. And you will get, once you're selected, you will get the interaction with the BITS, the Dean of Faculty Affairs, and then you will then go to the next round where you can directly apply through their recruitment process. The next private institute is GITAM. And GITAM has been actively recruiting a lot of our Sci-ROI candidates. So they have positions available, as you can see, assistant, associate, and professor position, full-time professor positions in 8 departments, which covers both science and engineering. And they do a proper interview through our platform. If you're selected, you will go through the first round of interview through our platform, and then they do a final round through their own platform, and then you can get the final offer later if selected. The next private university is Ahmedabad, and they have also been coming to our recruitment drive since 2020. They do have faculty positions in science, related fields, computer science, maths, biology, and life sciences, physics, and then the engineering fields as well. So chemical engineering, computer science, electronics, and mechanical engineering. And they also do interviews through our portal. So if you are selected based on your application, they will be doing the first round of interview through our portal, and then go on from there. The next one is UPES. It's a University of Petroleum and Energy Studies in Dehradun. And they are also actively recruiting through our portal. And for them, it's actually the interview that happens on our portal is the only interview. So once you apply, if you are shortlisted, they will do a proper formal interview through our portal. And if then you are selected again, then you get a final offer letter from there. Now I'll go to the non-academic institutes. So we have Cactus again joining us this year. And they have been also recruiting people. So we have a third candidate with us today who is currently in Cactus now after they went through they got successfully selected during our last drive. So the positions to apply for this year, this time it's, and all of them are remote, but you need to be in India. These are scientific writer, in publications and clinical evaluation reports. And again, they do a proper interview in the first round through our process, and then they will carry it on with a couple more writing interviews and all those kind of things. And we will be notifying you while this process is going on, what is the next step. We will be notifying you about that as well. There is ACS International, the India division. They are coming this time for the first time. They actually attended our annual event, and they have open job positions. So they are going to come for the recruitment drive as well. They have positions for development editor and publication data manager. And this is mainly for chemical and physical sciences, candidates from that background. So ACS is all it's American Chemical Society. And the shortlisted candidates will get interviews with the ACS India staff on our platform as well. The last, for now, the final confirmed, last industry recruiter is Jubilant Biosys, and they are also in the field of chemistry. They do have some senior research scientist and research scientist positions available in multiple areas of chemistry. So more details are of course available on our website, but just to give you a brief gist. And they are doing a proper round of interview through our portal. So once you are shortlisted, you will have a proper interview with their HR and scientists in Jubilant Biosys. With this, I'll just mention we are in talks, as Atul mentioned. This is, always a very dynamic process. We have been in talk with all these recruiters for a month now. We are still continuing our talks. So the ones I just showed you, they have sent us our job description. These are already uploaded on our website. Application forms are ready to go. We do have a couple more who we are in talks with. They haven't yet sent the job description, so I'm just showing you the names. These might change in till November 8th, right? So we have 2 more days where we are going to finalize the talks with them, and then we will upload the application forms. If they confirm their participation, we will upload their application forms by November 8th, and all the registered participants will get an email informing you about the same. So just a couple of points, and again, these are all mentioned on our website. When you are applying next to our application forms, all of these are mentioned, but just to go through them again, we have told this a lot of times, but we will be finalizing the recruiters by November 8th. Then we if you have already registered, just go on and check the job openings regularly. We are in the process, right this morning, I added a couple more. So just go on and keep checking those, and you will find updates. And the document requirements are different for different institutes. So please check those carefully while you're applying. Then the documents should be in PDF format. The applications, we will request you to just apply once. So make sure you have everything before you hit the submit button, and there is no mistake anywhere, with your email ID, with anything. The application forms are very easy. They are mostly, multiple choice questions, and then you have to upload some documents that the institute has requested. So just make sure while you hit the button, submit button, that all your information is fine. we won't be, if you submit 2 applications or more, we will only be taking the first submission. And the reason is our backend process is totally automated. We are not going to go through your applications because to remove any bias, right? So the program will just take the first one and it will disregard your other submissions. So just make sure that you are submitting one final application. If by chance there is a mistake, then write to our email ID, okay, and not like submit it again. Before that, do write to us. When you are, there are some of the institutes, especially the academic ones, who have asked for publications. So if you're uploading your publications, please upload PDF copies, not scanned copies, because that then also messes up with the automated program. These are just some of the learnings we have in our past recruitment drives, so just sharing with you. And we will not be able to change the documents after the application deadline is over. So if there are any mistakes you think, then please report to us before the deadline is over. And then once you hit submit, do not press the back button. You can just, once you submit, there is a confirmation page that comes up, which will show you, which will give you a chance to go to the other applications. And you will also get a confirmation email with a unique ID and saying that you have filled out the application and everything. It has been successfully submitted. And again, if you have any queries, do write to us, to our official email ID, and include your name and application ID if you have any concerns about the same. So with this, I will, this is the end of our presentation. What I will do is, very quickly, I will go through the actual portal that we have, because we have received a lot of, questions in the last few days. And again, it's a bit hard for us to keep answering to all the questions as well as do all this. So what I'll do is I'll just show you, I'll just open our website and just show you directly how we have, gone through the process, or arranged the process. Sorry, okay. So when you first apply, you guys can see my screen, right? With the membership confirmation. Okay. When you first apply, when you first register, as soon as you hit the payment button and everything is done, this is the page that comes up, the membership confirmation page. This has some the deadlines that we just mentioned. And on the right, you have the recruitment week job openings. So if you want to start applying right away, then you can click on this green box and then you can start applying. Now, let's say you have registered, but you may not want to apply right away. So for that, what you can do is you can go later on, right? You have registered, but later on you want to apply. So you go to our website, and on the top right hand side, you see a login button. So you have to log in with your credentials that you provided while you were registering, or you already may have an account with with Sci-ROI, right? So just hit on the login button, and then what it will do is it will take you to your membership account. And then on the right-hand side, again, as well, you have this green box with the recruitment week job openings. Just click on that and it will take you to the page with the application forms. You will also find it in the page for the recruitment drive. So this is the recruitment drive page where we have all the information that Atul and I just mentioned. And again, here on the right, you will find the recruitment week job openings. So once you click on that, you will be going to this page, which has all the applications that from the recruiters, from the 14 recruiters and possibly more that we just described, right? So you just have to scroll through to go through all the applications. Now on the front page, we have like what the position is, what the location is, and if like the minimum details, right? So minimum requirements and everything. But in the application form page, we have more details, and then we have the application form. So I would really suggest that if you are interested, or even if you're not, if you just want to check out more details, do click on the application form. And then what will happen is, I'll give you an example of IISER-Berhampur application page. This will open up, right? So you have the position, location, and as you can see now, you have more descriptive job description. Okay, 2 descriptions, but you get the gist. And then your application form starts, right? So again, as I mentioned, very, in simple terms, your name, email ID, some information we require, your position, what is your research. And then at the end, you will see what are the documents that need to be submitted. And then just make sure that you're submitting everything properly, and then hit submit. On the right-hand side, some of the, at the end, I went through some of the points, right, that you have to keep in mind while applying. So these are also mentioned here. So just go through them if you have any doubts, and should be fine. Just to give you another, so this is an idea of an easy application. We do have applications of all sorts. So I'll just show you another quick example of Jubilant Biosys. So we have applications where they have given us really long job descriptions. So for those, you will see links to click on. So just click on them, and these will open up in this will open up the actual job description with a lot of information. And then you can go into, again, the same, this is much more complete, like it is a bit more diverse application form. So they have asked for a lot of information, but basically you go through the entire process again and submit. You can apply to as many institutes. You can apply to all 14 if it fits your profile, but do check the criteria. Each one of them has their own criteria. If you're satisfying the criteria, you can apply, and with all the documents that they need. So I think this was all from my end. We will be taking questions at the end, but before that, I would like to introduce 3 of our candidates who did go through this process that we all just described in the last 2 times. And I would request them if they can just share their story briefly with us about how the process was and where they stand now. So I'll first invite Dr. Manipa Shaha. Manipa, you're here, right? I did see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Hi, Manali.
Yeah, so thank you, Manipa, for joining. Just to give a brief background, she did her PhD in ISC and postdoc in University of Toronto, and her background is in cancer biology. And she came to our recruitment drive this year in July, and she had to urgently return to India last year. So she is one of them who is in India and applied, and she was in urgent need of a position. And right now she has actually already started her position in Cactus Communications. So congratulations, Manipa. And if you want to go ahead and share your story.
Sure. Thanks, Manali. Thanks, Atul. And hello, everyone. So as Manali said, I have joined Cactus Communications, and it's been a month that I'm there, and it's been a really nice experience. To quickly share some of my experience with this recruitment ride, as Manali said, it's very streamlined. It's very easy, and it was very helpful for me at that point of time when I really needed a job in India. So so on a personal front, I had to return during COVID last June. So 2020 June, I returned to India amidst COVID, and because of some family emergencies. And then my husband got a permanent job as an assistant professor in an IIM in India. So I was, and we have a little baby with us of 1 year. And so I was really looking for positions which would be preferably remote and, work from home option. So I was really looking forward to, applying for writing jobs as scientific writers or editors and etc. And Cactus was luckily on one of my first preferences. So I was already looking at Cactus webpage and, looking for how to apply. And then this Sci-ROI thing came up, and I was really, really grateful that, I have a platform to apply it through. And the application process was very easy. I'll come to the interview process, which was very exhaustive. It went for a month, I should say, like exactly a month from the time I started interacting with Cactus to the time I actually got the offer was exactly a month. So about the recruitment drive, it's, as I said, it's very streamlined. The team Sci-ROI is super, super helpful and very prompt in replying to your queries and, any doubts, any clarifications you have. Thanks, Manali, for all the help. And so if you have the present candidates, if you have any queries, doubts, please do reach out to Sci-ROI, and they're like very helpful. And as for, I'll go through my interview process with Cactus. So I was applying for a trainee scientific writer in publications. And that's what, to begin with, I had an informal HR session, very informal, like some 10-15 minutes, and which was followed up with a formal interview process, which went on for an hour or something with the actual teams that I might be working with, which was medical devices and publications. After that, they gave some written tests, which was writing on, publication related write-ups and on the medical devices tips. So they were actually interviewing me for 2 different teams in their company, because they thought that I might fit one of them. And I was being interviewed for medical devices, the team of medical devices, for a writer of clinical evaluation reports. So on that, they gave me a written test, which, and there, so for all these written tests, you have deadlines. So let's say 24 hours or 72 hours. If it's a long written document that they need, they'll give you some 72 hours to submit. And the deadlines are very hard. So after you submit that, they review the written document and then get back to you. They had given me one more written test in between, and then after that, so these interview processes go on. Once you're selected for one, you qualify for the next one. That's how it happens. So then I had a proper interview with the entire. So they have this company. They have a team in US as well, US based team. So that's the team I was going to work with. So they interviewed me for another formal interview on technical grounds. And then I had an HR interview, which was also pretty long. Like, this was a serious HR interview. And then they had an HR written test. So you had to write kind of HR questions, not scientific, not technical. It was just, so I was thinking that, okay, they're looking for, how do I write English or, things like that. But apparently it was nothing like that. It's just a formality they have. And so it's a long set of questions, some 20 different questions, HR related, which you had to write out. And so that's it. So the entire interview process, as I said, was for a month, after which I got an offer, but they were very kind. Like, I had asked for some time before, I could settle down with my family, get some help. Because as you know, although it's a work from home, I needed somebody to, look after my kid and arrange things back at home. So they were very kind, and they kind of asked me, when would it be comfortable for you to join? And I said October, not before October. And they agreed. And so I joined on 4th October. And I have been there for a month now. Their training, they told me upfront that if you survive the training, you are in the company. So the training is very exhaustive, and it's very, very tough, I should say. It's not like I do not know how to write English or anything, but it's pretty difficult. And they have strict deadlines, but I am enjoying the process, like I must say. And they take the training very seriously, and the company is very friendly, and like the supervisors, the trainers are really nice, and they'll help you do your assignments. They'll help you with any queries you have, and the training process is very streamlined, well organized, and it's a very established company, so very well organized. The processes are very nice, and the HR there is very helpful, and like, they are always available. So if you have any queries, you just reach out to anybody in the company. Like it can be the CEO, the director, the manager, anybody. They're like always available. So yeah, I'm enjoying the process and looking forward to getting established in the company. Yeah, I think that's it. If you have anybody has any queries, I can take them up later.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. If you could stay back with us, and we will do the Q&A round right after hearing from the other two people. So thank you for and all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So next up we have Dr. Dileepkumar, and he is recently going to join Ashoka University, and he participated in our last recruitment drive, again in the one that in July. And he did his PhD from CSIR IGIB, and then he did his postdoc, or you're continuing, right? You're continuing your postdoc in Baylor College of Medicine, but soon will be finishing. His background is in structural biology. And yeah, from here, okay, I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Manali and Atul. And remember their names, you are going to find them in your breakout rooms for sure during your interviews. So yeah, and thank you all the Sci-ROI team, because you guys have been putting a lot of efforts in organizing this, and this is a very humongous task, I understand. So yeah, like most of us who want to come back, we have this in mind that like we have a typical time frame in our mind that like 4 or 5 years of postdoc, publish good papers, get couple of, like you understand your project, prepare something in your project and write back to the Indian academia. Now, but something like COVID happens, that is not a part of your plan. And that is where Sci-ROI came into the picture. So in my timeline, I had planned that in 2020, I'm going back to India. I will be completing my 5 years of postdoc and I'll start applying. So everything was streamlined. But then COVID happened. We know what happened. Everything was closed. There was no future plans like when you are going to visit in India. And most of the Indian academic institutions are adamant that they want you to visit there and give your talk. And you had no certainty like how it is going to happen. And if you want to go back to India, there are two important organizations that you should keep in your mind. One is Sci-ROI that you are attending, and another one is the Young Investigators Meet by India Biosys. So in these two events, you would directly interact with the recruiters, dean or directors of the research institutes. You get an idea what they are looking for, and you pitch your idea, and you develop a personal relationship where you can go forward and look for your applications on. But when these things, because of pandemic, since the in-person events were cancelled, I was also like uncertain how it is going to shape in future. Both of the events were organized in the virtual platform, and in virtual platform, you cannot have that kind of interactions with the directors. But Sci-ROI took it to the another step, and they basically organized this all virtual recruitment drive. And I can understand how tricky or tough it would have been to convince the Indian academics, like you should just have the Zoom interviews with the candidates and make a decision. So I completely get that. And then it was an opportunity for me. So I participated in the recruitment drive, and I got like a couple of interviews. And finally, I got an offer from Ashoka University and another one also. But I'll be will be joining Ashoka University from the summer semester. Now about the recruitment process. So Ashoka University, I mean, I have been interviewed for more than half a dozen of public and private institutes in India. And the one thing that stood out for Ashoka University is that the seamless recruitment process, like in case of Cactus, it was 1 month, which was longer. But if you see in Indian academia, 1 month is the shortest time frame. So for me, in case of Ashoka, from starting of Sci-ROI to getting an offer, it all took just 3 months, which is unbelievable if you think in terms of academic institution. And one thing which is very good about their leadership is that they are very responsive. If you write to the directors or deans, you will right away get a response, whatever query you have. And if they give you a deadline, like in 2 weeks, you will get the outcome of the system. Be assured that before 2 weeks, you will be having the answer of like whether you are going ahead or not. And after this whole recruitment process, they are also flexible in you joining. So like I was supposedly about to join in coming January, but since postdoc, you have multiple projects ongoing, you want to wrap it up. So I wanted like a couple of more months extension, and they were like, no, don't worry, whenever you feel you can join in next session also, we are free, we are fine with it. You should finish your project because that is more important. You have put up so much effort. So with all this, like it has been pretty good experience, and any of the person aspirant, any one of you want to talk to me or discuss with me about your research proposal, research statement, all of these things, you can always reach out to me. And one thing which I will say that also Atul mentioned, you have to be serious your application. You have to be very clear in your mind what you want to do. And when you write your research proposal, believe me, they read every single word what you have written in your research statement, in your teaching statement. So it's like you have to take it serious. That's all I can say. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dileep. It's really nice to hear the actual stories that you guys went through.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, and again, so as Dileep, you mentioned, right, if the three of you are okay, if you want to leave your contact details in the chat, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, sure.
If our participants can join, can write to you and ask if they have.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll be glad to do that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So our final candidate who has joined us today is Dr. Subramanian Sankara Narayan, and I'll just call you Subbu. We have been in touch for some time. He's actually at Purdue, where I am also. So he's currently a postdoc, but he's going to transition to IIT Gandhinagar soon. His background is in plant biology, and he'll tell us a little bit more about how the process was, which is way more than a month, as you have heard till now. So yeah, Subbu, if you want to go through that.
Sure. Thanks, Manali, and thanks, Atul, for this opportunity. And I should really thank Sci-ROI for this amazing recruitment drive, and it really helped me getting a position in India. So as Dileep said, my story is similar. I had been serious about going back to India, and I had been looking for academic jobs. So I had applied to several places. As you know, in India, things take a long time. And yeah, it usually, even if you submit application, you don't hear back. And I was really excited about this opportunity, this online recruitment drive. And first of all, since I'm from plant biology, I didn't know how many institutes were actually interested in having a plant biologist. So I wanted to figure that out. And so I applied to few institutes through this platform. And IIT Gandhinagar, luckily, I was surprised. I didn't expect them to be looking for a plant biologist, but I got a positive response. And then, as you know, once they shortlist, they will give you an interview day. And there were members from the bioengineering department, my future colleagues. So the first round of interview was with them, and then you get a chance to interact with them and know about the department. And they also get a good chance to know about your background and why you are interested in applying there, right? So it's a mutual thing. It's beneficial for both the institute as well as the candidate to know each other. And then they inform Sci-ROI that they like the candidate, and then they ask me to submit a formal application through their online portal. And from there, it takes a long time. It took me around 4 months. So IIT Gandhinagar has a really rigorous process, and the interview is really rigorous it happens in multiple stages. So first they ask you to give a research talk, and following which you will be given a teaching topic to teach. So you have a teaching seminar which would be attended by students, both PhD as well as master students. And both the seminar and the teaching session is around 1 hour each. And following that, there was a long gap of silence. And then I think they take that decision whether to go forward. And then you have another round of interview with the members in the department, following which, if they're really convinced, it goes to the next stage where you are interviewed by the selection committee, which comprises of colleagues from other departments. And then, yeah, it's multiple process. And finally, it's with the dean and director. So it was almost like 4 months when I reached to that stage. And then, yeah, the director offers you a letter. Once you interact with him and he's satisfied, you get the offer letter. So yeah, it was a painstaking process and a long one, but yeah, I'm glad. And I should really thank Sci-ROI, because some of the institutes I had applied to, like they didn't give me this opportunity of online interview, right? And in pandemic, it's very difficult to travel, or you don't want to travel. So IIT Gandhinagar was flexible, like, and they were also very efficient in conducting the interview, meeting the deadlines. Yeah. So that's my story in brief. So yeah, please feel free to contact me, or like if you need any other information, like I would be happy to share. Yeah.
Thanks,
Sci-ROI, once again. Yeah.
Thank you, Subbu. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and post your contact details in the chat, some of the participants are already asking, so they will definitely, you will maybe receive some emails from them directly. So I think this was all from our end in terms of like the information regarding the recruitment drive. So now we will take some questions. So if you have any questions, if you could raise your hand, and we'll go by which, the order in which the hand was raised. Or you can post in chat as well. So whatever works for you.
I think Indrajit
okay.
has a question.
Yes.
Go ahead, Indrajit. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, this is Indrajit Sahu. Currently, I'm a postdoc in Harvard Medical School. I have a question regarding putting the application in the Sci-ROI portal. Let's see, I have already applied to one of the institute which are listed here. Okay, through their job portal very recently, let's say a week back. Then what should I do? Should I apply again through the Sci-ROI, or I should wait for their response, because I don't know when I will hear from them, right? So that's my question.Uld I apply through, for example, I'm saying it's both IIT Gandhinagar and IISER-Berhampur.
Right.
So what should I do now?
Yeah, I can go ahead and take it, Atul.
Yeah, please go ahead.
This is a very common question we get, right? Because most of the public institutes, they have rolling deadlines. So you can apply anytime. And then, so usually in the past, what we have seen is if you do apply through our drive again, they do take into account that you have applied before. And they mention that when they're shortlisting that, oh, this candidate has already applied through our usual process. So we will take it from there. So that's what I have seen happening last time, right? If someone has applied twice, saying that there has also been cases where if it's too recent, right? As you said, 1 week, I would suggest not applying again through our drive, because that's in process, right? If it has been, let's say, at least 3 to 5 months and you haven't heard back, then just maybe check in with us that it has been that long, or sorry, not us. Check in with the other, the institute. If you still don't hear back and you also have an updated profile, maybe you added a paper or anything, then I would suggest please go ahead and apply through our drive as well.
Yeah, because well, I mean, applying through their job portal, you never know when you will get back. But here I see a deadline. I see a outcome time. So I know. So that's why, I mean,
and
you understand, yeah.
That happened to one of the candidates last time, and then I had to inform them, like, they're like, damn man, I was hoping that they look at my my application through Sci-ROI portal as well. So yeah, but if you want, if you want to, you can, but I'm just telling you from experience, right? If they have seen your application before, it will probably go through that. Yeah.
Okay. So one more maybe two more quick question. I will finish it quickly. I see in the job portal, I mean, while filling the application form, there was one point where it's written, would you like to make your CV available for other Indian recruiters? So meaning is this something else which are not listed here? And if yes, then if my only the CV is shared, or the whole application including the research proposal and everything will be shared?
So it depends on so sometimes the reason we added that question is because once the recruitment drive is over, we had some universities or some people who are contacting us and say that, please send us a list of candidates who are interested, who might be interested in this potential position that we have. So because we haven't got prior consent from you, we could not basically entertain that because it's your personal information and stuff like that. We don't have the right to send it to you without getting consent from you. So now, if after the drive, if some university comes in and asks for this kind of information, if you have given consent in that, then we will send your CV to them.
But
just your CV.
Yeah, I got the point. Yes. Yeah. So can I ask the last question?
Please.
Yeah, that will be the last one. So in all the application format, it's mentioned what is your approximately timeline for transitioning back to India. So does it count when I start applying, or because you never know how long will the process will take? If it takes, let's say, 6 months itself, right? So you never know after 6 months where you will be and how you can negotiate with the timeline with them. I know there are options: 3 months, 3 to 6, 6 to 12, 1 year.
Yeah.
Then if I mention, let's say, more than 1 year, does it really affect my application, or how do I decide? I'm not sure.
Okay, I can tell you the background of that question, right? So this is why Atul has been really emphasizing on the point of being serious about applying. So that question is to just gauge that, because a few recruiters, they also, we also get feedback from them. And they did mention that last time they had gone to the full extent of, the final interview. And then the candidate was like, oh, maybe I will not join, maybe I will not go back to India this year. So it wasn't clear from the first go, right? So that question is to just give an approximate timeline. So if you know that you are really urgently looking for position and you are ready to go, right? As soon as you get a position, you give a notice to your postdoc boss or whoever, and you're ready to move. So that right from now, so November 2021, what is your kind of that timeline you have in mind? And again, it doesn't have to be very strict. That's what you are going to follow if you get a final offer letter. So that's what we have asked it to do. And again, as Subbu told you, right, he did the first interview with IIT Gandhinagar in November last year. And this is 1 year, right? So every institute has their own process. So it will not negatively impact you. It will just give them a better understanding of when you can move, right? So they can also have their expectations in that way measured. That's the main thing.
And as Dileep as well said, they are very flexible.
Yeah, that is what I wanted to say, Indrajit. So almost all of the academic institutes, public or private, I know in India, they are very flexible in terms of joining time if they like you. So what you have to make sure is that you reach to the final stage of interview and convince them that you are the candidate. Yeah. Then you can obviously negotiate 3 months, 6 months, 2 months. That is not going to be hurdle for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should be not worried about that.
Okay. Yeah, because definitely I'm looking for, since I'm already, let's say, finished my 5th year or 6th year of postdoc. So yeah.
Yeah. And some of the institutes, if they have a thing, so if you see BITS-Pilani, they have actually mentioned that they want people to join by the end of December or end of 2022, I believe. So if they do have something like that, they have mentioned it. If not, then they are just looking to see how serious people are, in coming back and joining.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Indrajit. And all the best for your applications. Anyone else has any questions, or if you want to post in chat, we can take it from there as well. If you have questions for Dileep, Subbu, and Manipa as well, please go ahead and ask. I know it's top of the hour, but we can stay back for some more time if you have any questions. Indrajit, you want to say something else? Please go ahead.
Okay, so this question to Subramaniam for IIT Gandhinagar. So can I ask you, like, how long you get the time, the negotiable time or grace period to join?
Yeah, sure. So in my case, it was like tricky. Like I was planning to travel back to India. Like I had this deadline in my mind. Like I wanted to return back by May of this year. So what happened was that was the peak when the pandemic, it was pandemic peak in India. Like people were dying, there were no beds. And like I have a 5-year-old who is not vaccinated. So I didn't want to take that step of risk of traveling back. So I had to find another position. My postdoc was coming to an end and I quickly found out another position here. And I was still waiting for the offer letter. Like I was emailing them, like it was pretty much clear that I would be offered. And by the time I got the offer letter, my postdoc was coming to an end. So then I had to negotiate with IIT Gandhinagar, requesting them if I could join like next year instead. And they took a time for that decision, but yeah, the decision was positive. So taking the pandemic into consideration, I think they were very considerate and they allowed me to actually, like they gave me an extension until June of 2022. So as Dileep said, like they have a very rigorous process and they put in their time. So they wouldn't want you to like just go away. So they would wait for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I got the point. Thank you. And congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, my name is Sharmistha Majumdar. I think I met in our previous meeting with Manali and Atul. So thank you for this meeting, conducting this meeting. In the application form, I saw there are some keywords like research, exactly. Research keyword. Yes, yeah. Research keyword. So my question is it I have to mention some technical keywords or subject line keywords, which is not actually clear to me.
So I would suggest you would put more of a subject-based thing, because like you have to also see who is going to go through your application.
CV,
right?
CV.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, CVs and stuff. So they are given a large PDF document which contains multiple people, like so many different people from different disciplines. So these keywords yes. would be what they would be using to search your profile. So being too technical, narrows they might not be using such strong technical words for looking for your particular kind of expertise. So I would say that that's the reason we give 3 options. So some of them use very broad strokes, and probably something that you can do is something very more specific.
Okay.
Like for example, I would if I am giving the if I take my example, I would keep neuroscience as one of my keywords. One would be my specific field of expertise would be motor control or something like that, and then one more would be a sub-discipline like cognitive neuroscience or something like that. Okay. So 3 levels is what I would do. That's how I would go about it.
Okay, thanks for
so that you can basically whoever is searching a broader discipline or medium level discipline and a very specific thing also, you are basically covering all the bases there.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, this is Abhishek. Hi, everybody.
Good.
Thank you for organizing all this. So I'm a postdoc here in Oxford University in England, and I'm doing my 5th year right now. And one of the technical questions, so I'm still figuring out whether I should apply, and maybe I tried few places and different reasons, but yeah, I'm getting noticed but not getting it. So my question is, in context of research plan, so how much do you guys go into detail of the, like, how much you want to do? Like, is it the research plan should be like more like a research proposal you would do to submit the grant, or it's more like, you kind of don't go that detail? How do you kind of, do that? What's the difference? How do you differentiate or not? That's the question.
We have experienced people like Subbu and Dileep here who could be able to answer that better. So I would.
Yeah, like I can take that if you want to.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes,
so yeah, so I had applied to several places, like few other academic institutes in India. So each place it's a different. So ideally they would want to see like a 5-year plan, kind of like the work you put in there should be at least should go on for like 5 years, and it would be good to give a broad vision of like what happens next after 5 years, like how you can take it to 10 years, say. Like, I think that's what they want, like, to see when you put a proposal. And usually it's like 2 to 3 pages depending on the institute. Like, so I think for IIT Gandhinagar it was like close to 2 pages. Like, so you can't actually list out everything there, a detailed plan, but you would give a broad idea of like what kind of work you want to do. Does that answer your question?
Kind of. That's what I try to do, but I think it varies also from institute to institute, as you said, depending on their structure of the application.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just to add to that, I did see some of the institutes explaining in their job description as well. So especially like the IITs, when they send out these rolling advertisements, they do mention what they want to be written into research statement and teaching statement. So you can maybe go through their websites and see that as well.
And
So
another...
on the same point, Abhishek, like I'll just give you, like, whatever Subbu said is exactly right. You have to look according to the institute. Every individual institute has a different requirement. But what is most important point is that the doability of your research proposal. That is what you should keep in your mind. When you are proposing something to do at particular institute, you have to also see that how feasible it is to do there. Yeah. Or if it is not feasible to do there, what other kind of collaborations that you bring in. And if you add that into your research statement, that adds a lot in your, like, that shows that you are serious, and also that shows that you are well prepared. So these are the two things which matters. Obviously, you know your science very well, but you have to also convince them that how you want to do that science at that place is doable. So that's one thing I'll just say. Yeah.
And yeah. 2 more questions. Thank you very much for giving the notes on this question. So 2 more is, one is because you talked about teaching. So teaching was, do they really go into detail of teaching? Because like throughout my career, like I've been like more than 10 years, I think 11 years in Europe now. I did not really teach, it's like you teach, sometimes guide people, sometimes help them out. But I really did not like took a classes like in detail. Like I think you've never given that kind of, it's not the prime thing what you want to do and what you've been hired for. So how does it take in context of institute like Ashoka University or IIT? Do they really focus on teaching proposal and how much you're going to perform? Although IIT is a teaching institute more than research, yeah?
Yeah. So again, to answer that, like, yeah, as you know, like IIT is very, very committed to teaching. So yeah, they do want to see that their candidate can teach well. So it does, like, you don't really need to put in a lot of teaching experience, like while you write your teaching statement or something, but they would give you a topic to teach. So you'll have a teaching session for 45 minutes, and what they see is like whether you do a decent job and whether you put in the effort and time to actually make a really good presentation or teaching session. And they actually get like feedback from their students as well after the teaching session is done. So they are really serious in whether the candidate can teach. So yeah, that is for IITs, but may not be true for all other institutes.
Yeah, so for Ashoka University being a liberal university, they're little liberal, I would say. So yeah, you are supposed to teach what subject you are expert into, but there won't be any teaching class as per se, right? So you will be asked that what will you be teaching? You will see their curriculum and you can propose this is the subject you know and what is vision of your teaching. So what they will be looking is that how you want to convey your idea to your students, whichever subject you are going to teach. So that is what you are supposed to tell in second round of interview when you are asked, like there would be, you have to put some slides like your teaching statement, and in there, they would like to see you that how you will be conveying something, a particular like just simple idea of like your subject, that how you will teach your students that is more feasible and understandable to them. You will not be asked to teach as per se any class, but yeah, as a part of your job, you will be required to teach. But they put more emphasis on your research, like what you want to do as an independent PM. So yeah, both will be there, but not as rigorous as IIT, I would say.
Thank you. Third question coming. So because you guys did like 5 year, 6 year postdoc, isn't it? So I'm like, I started my 5th year, and I noticed every IIT has this age limit. At least they mention it. I don't know how much they want to follow it, and that puts the pressure, because I have, like, my experience is a decent paper doesn't come without 4 or 5 years of, if you're really aiming something about 10, 15, it takes ages to get a decent story out. And it took me more than 4 years to get one decent first author paper. Second author, co-author, I don't care, I think. And I don't know how to get that in age of 35. That is like, is that really something I should worry? Because I was worried about this, and then I passed 35 now. I don't give a shit now. So how do I, what's the reality here?
Yeah, I can again answer that question. So I crossed my age limit when I applied to IIT. Though they say 35, they don't strictly actually follow the age limit. If they find a good candidate, it can be like 2 or 3 years over. They don't have a strict age limit. Even like I had given an interview in one of the CSIR institutes, and they had a strict age limit too. But what I understood, they even get people up to age of closer to 40s. All they see is whether you are a right fit to their institute, and like, yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, so I age limit is on paper, but yeah, 3 or 4 should be okay. That's what I think.
So age limit restriction applies when you are applying for an open advertisement. So there will be a date exactly. But for the rolling advertisement or for Sci-ROI recruitment drive, that are flexible. Like you can always, if you are exceptional or good candidate and they like you, I think that's adjustable.
Okay, I can relax then. Thank you. That's kind of. Cheers.
That made your weekend, Abhishek.
Yeah.
Good. Good to hear. But I just wanted to add a little bit to the teaching statement thing, right? So they do I know like all institutes have their different shares, right? Like 60-40 and, different percentage of what amount of effort you put in research and teaching. But just from, I haven't applied personally, but just from the experience of what the institutes look at when they do these interviews, they do, some of the institutes take the teaching part very seriously as well. So just to mention, as Dileep and Subbu said, it's not like your experience, but it's the way you teach. So I know, for example, just to give you a very brief example, Ahmedabad University, GITAM, they actually make you have like Ahmedabad, for example, last year, they did like this 20-minute thing where you had to like show your teaching skills to them within that 1 hour interview they did with the candidates, right? So just to give you an idea that what kind of different teaching ways they will like test you on, basically, even through our portal as well.
Methods of teaching.
And these teaching courses you propose, they need to complement with what is already happening. And I would believe I would come with new, something new which is not happening. Or you kind of merge both what is happening, or you're going to teach that course or choose from that, as well as you kind of propose what more you can add in the course structure. That's how you should take it, isn't it?
You can always propose if you have something novel or if you think that's going to help students. So you can always propose what idea you have. I don't think anybody limits that. But like Manali also mentioned that particular institutes, they give you a topic, and in that case, you are limited to that topic, right? So in that case, you have to focus on that.
Process. I'm talking about when you apply, you think about what you're going to teach.
Yeah, you can always be creative in that sense. Yes, that I think every institute will promote. You can think of proposing some subject which is not there, and you think that's going to help the students to prepare them for the next big challenge or something like that. I think most of the institute would appreciate that. But I don't know whether that will be part of your formal teaching practice in terms of giving a topic or something like that.
So Subramaniam, and like both of you, did you like just fixed with what was happening and that wrote around it that these are my proposed where I can add?
No, I did propose new courses as well, like which I would bring in. And also that would actually complement what's happening there.
Right. That's exactly what I would suggest. I also bring in a couple of new things which we can add into their current curriculum. So that gives them an idea that you are creative for the students. You are putting your efforts. So that's right.
Thank you very much. I think I should stop with the questions.
No, that's good. That's good.
Thank you very much.
Good, you are clearing your thoughts. Yeah. So that's good.
Just to mention, they have provided their email IDs in the chat. So if you want to get in touch with them, please do write to them, as well as if you want to write to us and you want to get in touch with someone else. No promises, but we will try our best to make that happen as well.
Right.
So I had a point to add to there, like since this whole thing happens online, not the initial recruitment like through Sci-ROI, but later stages, the process happens at weird hours because of the time difference in India and US. Like I even gave talks at midnight. Right. So you should be ready for that. And like the next day, you have to start early. Around 6, you start meeting with people. Right. So you don't really get that gap.
Like in that sense, I think Abhishek will be in a good place. He's in UK, so he's good.
Yeah, I'm in between. Yes.
Yeah, you don't have to worry. For US people, you have to. I have to wake up at around 2:45 a.m. for some interview at some point of time. So
even for Sci-ROI interviews, full disclosure, some of them might be too late and too early for you.
You have to compromise.
We do have to take recruiters, their schedule first into account, and then we schedule the time accordingly. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, we are already past almost 20 minutes. So if we don't have any new questions, or we can take maybe 1 or 2 last quick questions. Yes, Indrajit, please.
Yeah, thank you for letting me ask the question. The question is for Dileep. I just wanted to take the opportunity that he's here and is already part of Ashoka. In the application form, there's mentioned they are only taking candidates on 3 Center for Disease Biology, Inflammation, and Synthetic Biology.
Right.
So I think my research area fit to the disease biology, but I would like to more if you have any specific idea or the area of research that they exactly looking for in a candidate. So
I like, yeah, I think that's a part of leadership. I cannot exactly point out like what exactly they would be looking at this point. But what I can suggest you is that like they are open to work on various infectious disease and other part of like disease biology as its name suggests, or immunology. So you can frame your research proposal which can broadly address that part. But that's again, they are it's a liberal university in terms of everything. So they will be, if your idea is interesting, I'm pretty sure you will go ahead. That's what they will be looking for. So you have to frame your idea in a way that it appeals to them. Okay, this is something which is worth doing, or this guy has some very brilliant idea. So you don't have to be so much concerned about like particular disease only or particular area only. You can always be broad into that. But yeah, it has to be, it has to be exciting for them. So you can just pick up whichever you are working on in the field. I believe you are biochemistry person, right?
Yeah, I did my PhD in cancer biology, then
So cancer is only yeah.
So yeah, that's why I just
okay. You just have to make a proposal which is innovative or interesting enough, and that should be it. And you must get an interview call in that case.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that.
No problem.
And congratulations to you as well.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And good luck to you for your yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Do we have any more questions?
I don't see any in the chat, and I don't see raised hands. So I guess we can wrap up.
Yeah, it's right.
Okay. So I'll just quickly share this last screen while we are wrapping up, just to quickly go through the main dates. The registration is ongoing. The portal will close at 11:59 p.m. EST on November 10th. And then we already went through the entire process, but then the next dates to remember are the interviews at the interaction dates. Those are between December 6 to 12. And then please visit our website if you haven't already registered to learn more. And then you can also register there, as well as go through all the details we have mentioned. We'll also be uploading this recording there. So if you want to go back and listen to something else, please do that. And these are all the institutes we have now available. Right now, they're confirmed or will be confirmed by November 8th. So do check out the application portal all the time once you've started applying, and you can apply to as many as you want, and if they fit, if you fit the eligibility criteria. So with that, I'd like to thank once again Dileep, Subbu, and Manipa. Thank you so much for joining us today. And to all to everyone who has come and listened to us, and thank you, and hope you get the most out of this recruitment drive. Thank you so much. Have a good day or good night if you're in India, and bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Manali. Thanks, Atul.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks, Manali. Thanks, Atul.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.